Fearless General Abdulsalam takes Tinubu by surprise, drops bombshell about military coups. See what he revealed. Is he really fearless? Is Abdulsalami really fearless? Because he's not the same Abdulsalami that was made head of National Peace Committee prior to the election and could not do anything to hold the military from supporting some politicians and could not do anything to, to maintain peace during the election. He's not fearless, so I don't take him as fearless. But let's see what he said to Tinubu that is amounting to a bombshell about military coup. President Bola Tinubu, as the chairman of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, is leading the war against military incursion into African politics as witnessed in the Republic of Niger and Gabon. However, while speaking on the situation, General Abdulsalami, who was one of the ECOWAS delegations sent to Niger to discuss how the ousted President Bazoum will be restored as the constitutionally elected president of the country, told Nigeria why there will be an increase in coups in Africa. According to the former army general, politicians are the major reasons for the increase in military coups. He claimed that both the actions of political leaders and the inability of the African countries to conduct free and fair elections have contributed to the resurgence of coup d'etat in the region. Speaking further, he accused many politicians of changing their respective countries' constitutions and electoral laws to extend their terms in office, and as a result, many have been presidents for many years. He added that another factor was the decision of politicians to force political leaders on the people against their will, stressing that this always results in controversies and a lack of trust between the government and the people. The first factor for increasing military intervention in democratic governance in West Africa has to do with the credibility of electoral process and political leaders. Okay, political leaders take people for granted. General Abdulsalami made this known while speaking during an interview with BBC Hausa service, as reported by The Nation. He added many political leaders have changed the constitutions and electoral laws of their country to extend their stay in office. Another major factor is forcing leaders on the people against their will. This is very bad. Also, the soldiers connive with politicians who successfully executed coup for whatever benefit. Meanwhile, President Tinubu and his colleagues under ECOWAS are trying everything to compel the military junta in Niger to restore democracy. However, their effort has yielded no positive result so far. That is it now. What Abdulsalami said is exactly the truth. And I'm sure he's been to Niger to interface with the military junta there, has thrown more light on the reason why the coup occurred. And that is exactly what the ECOWAS leaders, the AU leaders, and the Western leaders like the US and France are shying away from. It's bad government. It's exactly bad government. That is it. The people are tired. The political leaders in these countries are just stooge and are puppet in the hand of the Westerners. First of all, they forced themselves on the people, just like Tinubu did in Nigeria, by rigging elections and declaring himself winner using the INEC chairman. That is unacceptable. Okay, Niger Republic is the same thing. Gabon is the same thing. Gabon president, the former president, who is also the father of the current president that has just been deposed, that is Omar Bongo, stayed in the office for a very long time and then handed over to his son Ali Bongo, and altogether they have spent over 54 years ruling one country. Why? And France is supporting that, like what is happening in Niger. Mohamed Bazoum has actually been there and is being supported also by the France to continue to loot the natural resources of those countries. It cannot continue to happen like that. And all the AU presidents and the ECOWAS president are trying to stop the coup because it can come to them. It's out of fear. All of them are corporate. All of them are perpetrators of this heinous act of forcing themselves on the people which is grossly unacceptable. And I'm sure it's the same Abdulsalami that came back from Niger to tell Tinubu that if it is restoring Bazoum, they should forget about it. It's not going to happen because the junta is determined on what he wants to do, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. I'm sure because, and why Abdulsalami is having the guts to do what he's doing is because when he took over power, he conducted election and handed over to Obasanjo very well. The same thing Obasanjo did between 1976 and 1979 when Murtala Mohammed died and Obasanjo took over as the head of state. He conducted a very clean election and handed over to Shagari in 1979. Okay, so it's the same glory that Obasanjo had that time that Abdulsalami Abubakar is enjoying now. And why did Abdulsalami do that? Because his wife, as a judge, forced him to make sure he does not stay in the office as a dictator, and it worked for him. So it is quite obvious that these two men are enjoying this glory for handing over, conducting a free and fair election and handing over to the winner. Unfortunately, since then, we've never had free and fair election till now. It's quite unfortunate, very, very, very terrible. So what Abdulsalami Abubakar had just said is exactly the reason, and it's not a secret. That's exactly what is happening. Why did coup happen in Gabon? They conducted an election, and they declared that election not being free and fair, and so the military had to take over to reposition things and conduct another election. Okay, why did this coup happen in Niger? It's the same thing. They are tired of the current president, Mohamed Bazoum, which have been ousted because of his dictatorial tendency, not adding value to the people, not keeping promises for election that they made during the election, and also being a stooge on the people, forcing themselves on the people, and also being used by France to loot the uranium in France. We cannot continue like that. And the uranium in Niger, by France. We cannot continue like that now. People have to change the narratives. People with courage have to change the narratives, and that's exactly what has happened there. So the fact remains that if what is his name, Abdulsalami has passed this message to Tinubu, then I'm sure that is the reason Tinubu is rejecting as we speak, because he's not gripped by serious fears because of the coup. And it's not going to be able, if ECOWAS cannot fight in Niger, cannot fight in Gabon. Those guys are determined, and with what has happened in Niger, where other countries that are under military rule, like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Guinea, are already supporting Niger. If ECOWAS venture to enter there, they will flush them. That is the truth. And with also the support of the Wagner PCM or Wagner PMC from Russia, the Wagner group are already there to also support Niger Republic. Okay, so, and Tinubu does not have the moral justification. In fact, he has a moral body in his head to go to Niger with soldiers to say they want to restore a democratically elected president when he has murdered democracy in Nigeria. It's not acceptable. Okay, he has a moral burden on him. He's battling with the legitimacy of his presidency in Nigeria, so he cannot dare to go to Niger Republic. And if he dare to go to Niger Republic, that is beginning of division of Nigeria, because the Hausas are not supporting that. They will go their way. There will be escalated war, and that will be a very good opportunity for Nigeria to split. So if he think he has the heart, let him go to Niger with ECOWAS soldiers or with Nigerian soldiers that are already impoverished and are divided. So Tinubu is scared, and that scare is what is working on him. Okay, probably that is why he wants to bring back retired General Buratai into his government to help him manage the military. It will not work for him. Let him go ahead and do whatever he wants to do. So thank you for listening. That is the bombshell that Abdulsalami Abubakar has dropped in Tinubu's ears, that is making Tinubu right now fidget and very scared about coup taking place in Nigeria.